Hello YouTube land, this is Blu-ray Cinema for another video. We're talking about movies of today, yesterday, tomorrow, and the past, present, and further on. So, first off, the only news I saw of Blu-rays coming up is One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, 50th anniversary. 4K, don't know if it's the rust metal things or not sure. No word on Sam's Lot 4K yet. No more news about that. I know that's going to be Arrow Video. Hopefully that'll be, I think, like that and a Peter Jackson set will probably be next year. Because I don't, sorry if you hear that beeping noise, but that'll go off soon. They'll stop soon. Because I don't think it's going to beep anymore. Or make that noise. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think we're hoping for November and December for those, but I think they're going to be like next year at least, like beginning of the year or before spring is over. Because I know Turtles is going to be a big one, and then I don't think they're going to do any more big ones like in December too much. Unless it's Christmas themed or horror themed, and I don't think Sam's Lot is going to be a December title. I don't think so. I think they're going to plan it for 26. And where's the Blade trilogy and where's Die Hard 2 on 4K? Nobody knows about that because nobody knows for sure. I want Die Hard 2 in 4K. I know a lot of people do. And the From Dusk to Dawn fiasco because they tried that before, and then Paramount, Paramount didn't crap the bed on From Dusk to Dawn. They said they put on hold. And it's been almost 2 years been put on hold. So, and people want The Rock on 4K, which I understand. The 1996 movie The Rock, with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, no, that's kind of like a decent one. But, I want to see like Hard Ticket to Hawaii on 4K. I want to see all kinds of things on 4K. But that's pretty much it. Again, I got to see like I know the Resurrected is on 4K, but I have to see that because I haven't seen that in a long, long time. It's H.P. Lovecraft, and people love H.P. Lovecraft. But a lot of H.P. Lovecraft isn't good either, as in The Dunwich Horror. The Dunwich Horror is one of the most awful movies made in either 70s or 1980, 81 at least. It's the worst horror film I've ever seen in my life. It makes no sense. The cast is good, but that's it. But the movie is not. It's not good at all. It's not so bad it's good. It's just pure awful. So if you got the Arrow version or the Vinegar Syndrome version of the Dunwich Horror, you wasted your money because that movie is nothing but a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. Everyone knows it's a piece of shit. The casting is kind of good. It's got Dean Stockwell in it, blah, 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 blah. Da, da, da. It's no Reanimator. It's no From Beyond. It's no, if you like The Resurrected, or The Unnameable. It's none of those things. It just, Dunwich Horror, I think came out at a time people weren't ready for Lovecraft yet. They were, 4 or 5 years away from that. And people weren't ready for that stuff. And that movie suffered. But you watch it, it's just god awful. But anyway, another note is I'm going to talk about one of my favorite parody movies of all time, besides Top Secret and The Naked Gun, the original. Is I really didn't care for. I'm not going to spoil for you, but I really didn't care for Naked Gun remake. I did not. I liked the original better because that one makes me laugh from beginning to end. This one, I chuckled a few times, found some of the things kind of funny, but it was like, I'll put it this way, Seth MacFarlane tried. He tried. He got, a guy who does drama and action pictures to do comedy, which, you do it straight, it works. But for me, Pamela Anderson, to me, wasn't the right choice, but that's nowhere here nor there. I just didn't care for it. I like the original. The other sequels are okay. They're like, yeah, they go downhill, through the movies, but the original is always going to be, a good comedy place in my heart. But anyway, we're talking about this. It came out in 1988. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, written and directed by Keen Ivory Rains. If you don't know, he did this before I'm Living Color. In Living Color, the sketch comedy show that ran for 4 or 5 years on Fox Network, when that was a thing. And you can stream that series, just that some language is going to be censored and or cut. Because on the DVDs, and it's not even on Blu-ray at all in Living Color, that the language on that physical media is going to be cut, because they say certain words that kids should not be hearing or saying in this time we are living in right now. And I understand that, but then again, you can't censor stuff either, because of, a couple years ago they didn't want children hearing those certain words. So you can't really censor that either, because it doesn't make the point of the comedy or what they're talking about either. So you really can't censor for that either. But anyway, so he was a struggling comedian, actor, or maybe not, I'm not sure. But he made this movie. But his first movie he did was Hollywood Shuffle, that's directed and written by Robert Townsend. And this is parody of the black exploitation films of the 60s and 1970s. So this movie has Keen Ivory Rains, his brother Marlon Wayans, Kadeem Harrison from A Different World, and want to do a bunch of other movies. Has Bernie Casey, Antonio Fargas, Isaac Hayes, Jim Brown, Janet Hooks, what's her name? Steve James from Avenging Force and American Ninja, all that stuff. Has, Damon Wayans, Cool Gallagher, Kim Wayans, his sister, John Witherspoon, David Alan Grier in his first movie role, unless he did Hollywood Shuffle, which you guys can compare, Clarence William III, Don Lewis, and Jeanette Dubois of Good Times. So this pokes fun at the exploitation films of, and it's like, you got like, a guy comes back home, avenges his brother who died of wearing gold chains. You hear me right, wearing gold fucking chains. And it just gets silly. It parodies every exploitation movie of the 70s. It just does. It hits all the beats. And it just gets fucking silly. Yeah, that is Kung Fu for who thinks he's the Black Bruce Lee. And then you got a first movie appearance of Chris Rock, doing the shtick he did on In Living Color, but the guy who wants ribs but doesn't have enough money for ribs, or has money, doesn't have money for this, and said, can I buy a sip for 10 cents? He does it here in this movie. It does stuff that no parody has ever done since, and never done before. It's 88 minutes, put up by Kino over here. It was an MGM film. And I'll show you the back here. There you see Isaac Hayes, Jim Brown. Do you see Kadeem, Keen Ivory Rains, Bernie Casey there? So he plays so Keen Ivory Rains plays a guy who was kind of like in the military thing. And there's the cover art right there. And there's no reversible cover at all. It sucks. But there you go right there. I think you can watch this on Tubi or whatnot. If you can't, I would stream it. Because I don't think you can find this Blu-ray anymore. I believe this is out of print. Hopefully, do a, Kino Lober will reissue this and do it as a Kino Cult. Because that's where it belongs, actually, in Kino Cult. I believe so. It's fucking hilarious. It's just fucking hilarious. and it's so great. It's really, really great. And you got making a featurette, you got additional interviews and B rolls, which is outtakes, gag reel, etc. And you got trailer gallery. I wish if they do a 4K or something of this, or some company takes it over, we need at least a commentary, even inside director's commentary, maybe a historical commentary, because I know Keanu Reeves, the only thing I know that he's done commentary on was on Scary Movie, the original, or that. I don't want to see this commentary on Hollywood Shuffle. I don't know. I don't have that film. That's through Criterion and all that stuff. But yeah. So yeah, this film is great. I mean, I saw this on cable when I was a teenager, and I liked it ever since. Do I watch this all the time? I don't, but I do recommend it. If you never seen a good parody, and you've seen all those awful parodies like superhero movie, epic movie, date movie, or Scary Movie 5 or 4 or whatever, and said, why don't they make good parodies anymore? Then watch this. This may be older film, but you know what? They took chances. They took risks. They didn't parody every new movie that came out that year. They didn't do that. Like those those fucking disaster movies did, or those films did. No, when you parody something in the 80s, even in the 90s, even in the 70s, you parodied a genre. You didn't parody like 100 other movies coming out that year or the next year. Like every 15 seconds reference it. No. There was no reference. You reference old films of the past, and what you could parody about them. Like you have Top Secret does a perspective point of view comedy. You have Naked Gun that parodies, police shows and police movies. It's too bad their series Police Squad didn't hit, but the movie did. So a lot of people went back and watched Police Squad. So there you go. Airplane parodied disaster airplane movies, and they parodied like stuff like The Town Inferno, blah blah blah. Then you have films later on called Compound Enter the Fist that parody like Bruce Lee type shit. But this parodied to a T the exploitation films. And then years later he did another film again where Keenan parodied films like South Central and Boys in the Hood. And then he did Scary Movie, which parodied stuff like Scream and what am I gonna say? Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Current slasher films like that, but that were a couple years old. And then you have Stu and Byers in the 1980s. They did parody slasher film. I've seen it in a while, but Stu and Byers is the first horror parody, which I haven't seen in a long time, so I can't say if I still like that or not. But anyway, please check this out. Please check this out if you haven't seen it. If you have, it's a good one. If you haven't seen it in a long time, it's still a good one. It still holds up. It holds up. Other than that, that's the video for today. So, other than that, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for all my subscribers out there, and please, you know what to do, and that's it. Until next, I'll see you then, and this is Blu-ray Cinema saying bye for now.